Good afternoon. It is Friday. That means it is weekly recap time. So we're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to talk about what I've read this week, what I'm going to read next week, what videos have gone on the channel this week, what's going to go up next week, and then any kind of extra wrap-up stuff at the end. So first, let's talk about what I've been reading. So I finished Curse of the Mistwraith by Janny Wirtz. I actually ended up reading the majority of this on Kindle, so I picked up the Kindle copy and ended up reading most of it by Kindle. I don't know why, I was just struggling with the font size, I think. I would love for our paperbacks in the UK to be the big floppy American style ones, but unfortunately somebody somewhere decided that the UK, we're going to get these like tiny, barely legible fantasy books. I don't know how Brandon Sanderson puts up with it. Now, my review for Curse of the Mistwraith is going to go up on Monday. I haven't actually filmed it yet because I've still been kind of trying to sort through my thoughts on it. Because there was no point in Curse of the Mistwraith where I was like, I'm bored, I want to DNF, I don't like this. But it was so slow and dense for me to read. I mean, I think most books that are like 600-700 pages take me, I don't know, 3 to 5 days to finish, and this took me like 10 days, and I was reading it for solid multiple hour sessions in the evenings. It was just such a slow read for me, and I think a lot of that is down to the language. It's very, very well written, and I liked all the characters, I liked the world, I liked the magic, but you can't see him, but the cat is here. But the actual style of the writing was kind of much more traditional, and the style of the writing was much more traditional and kind of flowery prose sort of stuff. Which I don't normally get on with. Again, I did like a lot of it. And this is one of the reasons why I really, really was surprised by Way of Dan by Philip Chase, because that was this sort of, it kind of married the writing style, or maybe the like pacing and story that I was looking for from modern fantasy, with the style and the world of kind of an old fantasy. And what we get from Curse of the Mistwraith really is just an older, more traditional style of fantasy. If that's your thing, I bet you'll love it. But for me, I really, really still don't know where I land on this one. I imagine I will be filming the review for this at like 3 p.m. on Monday, knowing that the video has to be out in 2 hours. Well, I say has to. I want the video to be out in 2 hours because I'm still really trying to sort through my thoughts on it. I think I might actually reread a couple of my favourite chapters and see how I feel. There were a couple of like really, really strong standout moments. I didn't, like I said, I didn't dislike my reading experience at all. And I do still think I will go on and try and read the next books. But I might take them out of the 2024 schedule that I have planned. And because this one took me so long to read, that I'm now a little behind on my December schedule. So I was expecting to be done with my next book by now. And I'm barely started it because I finished Curse of the Mistwraith on, I think, Monday, and then Tuesday I was able to start the new book. But then Wednesday I was busy all evening at a work event. Last night I had to make the Wandering In video. So I've really had zero chance to touch it. I say zero. I was able to read via audiobook mostly, a lot of it. I'll say a lot of it, about like 20% or something. And I'll tell you what it is now. So the next book is Dragons of Deepwood Fen. This one is a review copy that I got from NetGalley, so that's why it's digital. I say that's why it's digital, as if I don't read ebooks. But yeah, so I've been reading it I've been reading Dragons of Deepwood Fen, mostly via audio whilst driving to and from work events, because there's been so many work events on this week. But the audiobook is very good. So far, I'm super interested in this world, and I think that the thing that I really like about Dragons of Deepwood Fen is that everything revolves around the dragons. So like the magic seems to come from the dragons. So it's like a lot of the magical abilities and stuff that people have come from like dragon scale powders and stuff like that. So one of the things that I've read books with dragons in, like Game of Thrones and the Bound and the Broken series, and well, other books that have dragons in that maybe I won't spoil, but never has the dragon been so central to the world building and the storytelling. Maybe that's something you get from like Anne McCaffrey and her Dragon Riders of Pern or whatever. But I've never read a book series that was so about dragons. So I'm really excited for this one. I actually, because I worked on Wednesday when I had a big work event, I ended up working like a 18-hour day. So I actually have the entire day today to catch back up on that working time and read. So I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping that I will finish Dragons of Deepwood Fen quite quickly. After that, so in case you missed on the TBR, let me let you know what we have planned for this month. So, in fact, I've got them all on the Kindle Scribe here. So, the majority of the books that I want to read this month are Kindle books. So, they are here. So, obviously, I've finished Curse of the Mistwraith, but I have Justice of Kings, Prophet of Idan, Harbinger of Justice, and Sword of Kaigan. I think that I'm going to end up reading Justice of Kings next, because Justice of Kings is quite short, and that will help me to catch up a bit. I do also have 2 rereads where I have the physical books, but they're right at the bottom of the priority. So I want to make sure that I start Justice of Kings because I want to read the sequel next month and then the finale in February. And then I want to make sure that I'm reading Prophet of Idan and Harbinger of Justice because they're self-published. So obviously self-published books, they need more readers. And I want to read them. I'd like to support both the authors. They're both really nice people. And will I let that colour my review? Who's to say? No. I try to be impartial on these things. But so I'm going to read both of those. Then maybe Sword of Kaigan. I'm quite behind on the read along because everyone started on December 1st. But I feel like it's more important to get through the other booktuber books because, you know, there are other booktubers. We should all support each other. So I'll probably be going those. So I think, yeah. So Dragons of Deepwood Fen first. Harbinger of Justice next. Not Harbinger of Justice, sorry. Justice of Kings next. And then it'll be one of the 2 booktuber books. Might prioritise Prophet of Idan as I have already read the first one. But we'll see. I'm probably not going to read 3 books next week. Yeah. It's unlikely I'll read all 3. I will read all 3 this month. And I'm even, hopefully, like I said, going to be getting to Sword of Kaigan as well. And then maybe 1 or 2 of my rereads for the Remember December event. But we will see. So, let's talk about what's gone up on the channel this week. So, if I have a look at this week's videos. So, we had on Monday, let's have a look. Sort by... I can't sort by when I posted it. That's disappointing. Because what I tend to do is have stuff up way in advance. So let's have a look. This week we have posted 4 videos. There will be a 5th one, obviously, with today's video. So On Monday, we had the Sunlit Man review. So I enjoyed the Sunlit Man, but I don't think that I enjoyed it as much as everyone else. I do have to say that I believe that the time pressure I put myself under to read that before I could start Defiant, even though I wanted to start Defiant the next day, was a big culprit for why I didn't enjoy it as much. The one nitpick that I have of some of the Cosmere stuff is when it veers a bit sci-fi and it gets a bit too I don't know, a bit too like measurable and quantifiable. I get slightly less interested, but we'll talk. You watch the review, you'll see my thoughts on it. Next day was my series wrap up for the Skyward series. So whilst I did wrap up all of those books in my November monthly reading wrap up, because I read so many other things that month, I felt like it was more important to have a separate video, which is just for people who are interested in Skyward, for two reasons. One, because I wanted to talk about that series as a whole, in its own separate thing. And two, because I know that when I want to start a series, one of the first things I do is look for people who have done, like, is this series worth your time style videos. So normally, I think most people call them why you should read. But I like to think, why is this worth your time? That sort of thing. So that's why I have posted that video as an is it worth your time? And I'm going to try and do that for every series I read and finish as we go on the channel. I was planning to do it for the Holly Gibney books, but then I felt like the kind of October wrap up, because I read nothing else, really kind of served as that. And also, oops, I just started my own video there. And also, I think not as many people were interested in that series as are in the Skyward series. So let's go back in. So yeah, and then it was the Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson open spoiler discussion. So I had this video held in reserve for a while, waiting for a slot to open up, because I only tend to post. I was thinking that this would either be a Tuesday video, which, as you know, is kind of not a directly on what I'm talking about, my current reading sort of thing, or it was going to take the place of a review video if I didn't have a review ready. And in this case, I did actually not have a review ready for Curse of Mistwraith because I hadn't finished it. So I'd finished it. In fact, I finished it the day before, but I was at work on Wednesday this week from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. So I really had no time to record the video. And so that was why the Tress open spoiler discussion went up. If you were able to watch that one, it's actually had way more views than I was expecting, because I was expecting basically none. So if you have watched that and you liked it, please do let me know. And if there's any other books that I've read on the channel that you'd like to see open spoiler discussions for, please let me know. The format for that open spoiler discussion, where we kind of discussed characters and then major plot elements, and then kind of Cosmere implications, that's probably the same sort of format we'll take forward to the Wheel of Time open spoiler discussions next year. So we'll kind of highlight some characters, highlight some plot moments, and while there is no Cosmere for the Wheel of Time, maybe there's something that will come out, something that will be kind of a third block, maybe with tier ranking. That'd be fun. So the after that was the Wandering Inn video. That one is funny. That one basically was my entire evening yesterday. Normally I record my Wandering Inn videos during my lunchtime, lunch break for work, but I wanted to read extra chapters, and then my yesterday was incredibly busy, so I wasn't really able to take lunch, and so that's why you got it at 11 p.m. at night. However, those chapters were amazing. If you're not following us on the Wandering Inn read along, It's a couple of hours of reading to get to where we are, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. It's totally worth it. And if you just stop in once a week, I bet you'll have a great time. I'm probably going to film some wandering in videos in advance for the end of the year, but I don't want to do. The problem is, right, I like reading it week to week. I like reading that weekly shot of the wandering in, but I feel like I know I have to record the Christmas week one because we're very busy as a family during Christmas week, and I probably have to record the week before. So yeah, busy time coming up. Lots of all-day events for work, that because I have a lot of events kind of on a quarterly basis. So it's like December, March, June, September. So each of those months is quite busy. However, I think we can get it done. I'm loving the wandering in. I'm loving chatting to people in the comments about it. And let's all join in. I bet you would love it if you're watching this video. Finally, what's going up on the channel next week? So let me get my spreadsheet up here. A lot of the time I write notes in advance on what's going to be what I'm going to discuss in this video. But the problem is what I did. So we are now okay, so next week will be on Monday. You'll get the Curse of the Mistwraith review. On Tuesday, I'm planning on filming 2024 new releases that I'm looking forward to. On the Wednesday will be the Dragons of Deepwood Fen review, because I'm sure I'll be finished by then. Then we've obviously got, same as always, Wandering In and the weekly recap. So that's next week for you. If the schedule has to change, I'll let you know. But I do hope that you can join us for some or all of next week's videos. Thanks very much for watching today's video and for watching the channel. I appreciate every single view, every single like, every single comment, and of course, every single subscriber. If you'd like to see any of these upcoming videos, then please do subscribe to the channel. Every little helps, just like the Tesco adverts. And please do also like the video if you liked it, and leave a comment if you want to discuss anything that we talked about today. So if you want to talk about Curse of the Mistwraith, Dragons of Deepwood Fen, booktube in general, the Wandering In, then please do drop a comment down below, and I will speak to you soon. Have a good weekend.